Howdy y'all. Just wanted to make a video going over the way I battle tank as Earth. Right now just showing my gear, my arts, and then what's on my utility belt. With this, and again, this is just the way that I battle tank. None of this stuff is necessary. Yeah, right now I'm 331, just showing some of my stats. And the way that I battle tank is supercharged, not supercharged dependent, but I utilize them a lot. Just because I have EOG on and I have the scrap. Then I also have trans, which just helps your damage overall. So EOG and scrap really help my build because it's, like I said, supercharge heavy. Just showing my loadout. Whenever I battle tank, I use brick just because when you're not blocking, you'll take less damage with brick out than you would with aftershocks. Like aftershocks really shines with shields. When I'm battle tanking, I don't run any shields, so I don't really like to do. Like I would prefer to not have brick really, but it just makes everything else flow better. Just showing the rest of my loadout: localized tremor, earthen grip, unstoppable, jackhammer, and tome. Like I said, it is supercharge heavy, so I can almost spam and tome, not nonstop, but way more than say someone without EOG could. And I'm just showing some different variations of other abilities I'll put on there, but just to describe like the main ones is like what I showed to start with. That's my like default battle tanking loadout, and then from there I can mess around with other stuff. Like say if I don't need a pull, I can run two 2500 supercharges, so pheromone bloom and backflip, I believe it's called, from acrobatics. So that just lets me just have the green circle out even more whenever I do run this particular loadout. But like I'm going to go back to battle and you'll see that's my default, just because it just kind of works in all situations that you can battle tank. So, and you can really, aside from like end game stuff like COUE, FGSE, sometimes clock tower elite, I can get away with battle tanking. But aside from like end game elite raids, you can battle tank almost everything. Like I battle tank Legion HQ elite all the time, just because it makes it go a lot smoother. And I'm showing some rotations, but one thing to be aware of is whenever you're battle tanking, your still main goal is to tank. So don't just turn into like a DPS, just killing stuff that you feel like without getting aggro and positioning and countering when appropriate, because your main goal still is to tank. Battle tanking just makes it smoother and faster for the group, but you still have to make sure that you're fulfilling your role. So that's just a sample rotation without me using Entome of what type of damage you can get. And two caveats with damage if you're testing it yourself is that if you're not if you have a pet, whether it's brick, crystal, fury, whatever, your damage is going to be a bit inflated against a sparring target just because the pet's getting power. So see, I'm not running fortify, but brick is still getting power as if I was. So the damage is going to be a bit skewed that way. Another way it's a bit skewed is in instances, when you have brick out, you'll do more damage than is possible in the raid. So a way to test that is go to the Doomsday raid, or any instance where you're just fighting a boss to start with or something. At the end of that, your total damage will be higher than your boss damage. So like with a Doomsday raid, my total damage is higher than the boss damage, which shouldn't be possible because all you can damage is Doomsday. So that's just caveats there, but the way I try to gauge if a loadout is working or not is kind of just how fast do we get done with an instance, and then am I putting out decent boss damage? Like since everything here is AoE, I'm not going to have great boss damage. But if I can do solid boss damage, then I know, and we get done quickly, I know that the loadout's working it well. So right now I'm showing my supercharged variant of the loadout. And if you notice what my supercharge is right now, and then compare it to what it was when I started, you'll notice that it's exactly the same. So I'm able to, that's one of the reasons why I like this loadout, is because I can literally just spam supercharges that do okay damage relative to other abilities I have, and then I can just constantly spam greens, which helps the group if the DPS are running supercharges and they can stay near me. It just makes everything go a lot faster. So that's one variation I like. One thing to be aware of, no, I don't have a pull on it. So if you're running any instance where you need to pull an ad, then it's not going to be the one. You're not going to want to run this. Or you could just drop out localized tremor for Earth and Grip. So right now I'm just showing another loadout I use. I know a lot of people don't like Totem, just because it's a jack of all trades type of move. Like, it's not great at anything. It just does a bunch of different things. Like, it has minor crowd control. Whenever you first cast it, you see it knocks them up, and it does a little bit of damage over time, and then it also heals Brick a little bit. So none of those things are huge selling points, but I feel altogether it's an ability that can be useful depending on the instance. And then also it has a pretty good range. I would say, I don't think I've tested it, but I think it's similar to Debris Field in range. So it has a big area of effect. So even if an enemy does move, there's a chance that as long as they don't move too far, they're still going to be getting hit by it. The one downside to it is it does have a really long cooldown. So if you place it and then the boss teleports away, then you got to just have to wait until you can cast it again. But like I said, it's something I throw in every now and again just to see, not just to see, but just to, if I feel like Brick needs a little bit of help as far as like staying alive, then I'll run Entome rather than Fortified Golem, because Fortified Golem does no damage. So I like Entome just because it does some damage. And let's see. And if you look at the damage I was able to put out with Totem out, it's similar to my base loadout as far as damage is concerned. So it's something to use, and this is just another variation. Like I had said, if you do need a pull, just drop localized tremor and grab Earth and Grip. So these are just different loadouts variations I have. And the way I spec my battle tank is my goal still is 2 tank, like I had said earlier. So I want to make sure my survivability is up, because the way that helps your DPSing is if I can take more damage, then I don't have to run a shield. I don't have to play defensive. I can just be attacking. So I also have a lot of skill points, so this helps too if you're going to battle tank anything, is to have a lot of skill points. So what I'll do is I put 100 into Dom, 100 into health. To start with, I go hybrid. I've found that superpowered, I don't run out of power if I go hybrid. So superpowered doesn't really benefit me. It's not like I get more might with superpowered. If I did, I would run it. But I just get more power regeneration. So I just go hybrid just for the extra Dom, which helps the defense. And then after that, I'll get max out crit chance, crit magnitude. Like I said, 100 health, 100 Dom. Then I'll do 30 into precision, just because you're going to use your weapon sometimes for countering and stuff. So just get to 30, 5% boost is fine. And then the rest goes into might, because the majority of my damage is coming from might. The majority of the damage comes from localized tremor, clipped into unstoppable, jackhammer spam, and then Entome whenever I can. So most of your damage will come from might. So that's the way that I spec. And like I'm just showing the artifacts again, which allows me my playstyle: Scrap of the Soul Cloak, Eye of Gemini, and Transformation card. So I hope this helps some people. If you have any more questions, just let me know in the comments. All right, thanks y'all.